Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I thank the panel for their testimony. I understand that NHTSA is thinking about future regulations requiring manufacturers to submit a safety assessment letter. Do you think that the safety assessment letter, if required, would preempt state laws and regulations regarding design and performance of autonomous vehicles?
It's really two different elements we're getting to there. One is the 15-item safety assessment is basically to let NHTSA and the public know that these 15 areas of safety have been addressed. It is, as a policy, not required. And what we've identified, if there were regulation, there might be a requirement to submit that letter, but we would keep it nimble and flexible. That 15 could become 12 or 20 based on future innovations, basically. And really, at this point, part of what we try to do with the states to avoid the patchwork was clarify, here's what the federal agencies will take care of, here's what the state should take care of. We have those vehicle standards to take care of. They should be handled by this letter.
Thank you. In your view, would inconsistent state laws and regulations, I know you addressed this somewhat, would inconsistent state laws and regulations related to the design and performance of autonomous vehicles hinder innovation in this life-saving technology? How do we ensure that state laws and regulations on self-driving cars are uniform and consistent? And is there a role for Congress to play?
So you've just identified, and it's been raised previously, that is a vulnerability that remains. If there's a patchwork, that could really hinder not just innovation, but the opportunity to save these lives. And so right now, the policy outlines some very specific ways for states, if they choose to get involved, here's some areas they could start with. This is an area I think we all have to stay tuned as meetings and discussions go on to see whether or not everyone's going to actually deliver on that unified, consistent framework.
Thank you. Next question. With regards to the safety assessment letter, does NHTSA anticipate suppliers would have to apply for exemptions to test vehicles with level 2 to 5 systems, or would the safety assessment letter be limited to manufacturers?
If you look, the policy actually is really explicit. Anybody who's in this arena should be submitting a letter potentially. So that's manufacturers, suppliers, tech companies, et cetera. One of the questions we've been getting, though, is if you have a collaboration, say between a manufacturer, ride sharing, and a technology company, who submits the letter? And that's something we'll work with them to basically decide whether we get one letter or at least one integrated one that has all three of those represented.
Thank you. Have you worked with the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration in the development of these guidelines, and have you been working with the trucking industry in developing self-driving policies?
So we were, as part of Department of Transportation, we were in touch with all of the department, but in particular the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration about this as well. We had 2 public meetings and an open docket, so I can tell you the trucking industry, we had at least a dozen interactions with them, and in fact to the public docket, their trade association submitted comments. So there's been a lot of interaction with them already.
Very
and will
good.
continue to be.
Very good. Thank you. I yield back, Mr. Chairman. Appreciate it.